Hey, what's good, people, man? It's the Health and Wellness Dread, aka the Platinum Bearded Dread. Yeah, man. With news coming up, what was your thoughts of the devil? What did he look like? Where was your influence from? Was it from religion, like a lot of us? But what was your picture of what the devil was? What is? It's funny because if you think back coming up, most of us had an image of Eva, this thing in like a kind of reddish leotard, tail, horns, and a pitchfork, and or an evil spirit that has no form. And then you relate both of that to fire, and that was the image that Christianity and Judaism and Islam, all those kind of Judeo-Christian religions had of the devil. So for many of us, that was the image we had. But I want to offer up something to just consider. They say that the greatest trick that the devil ever pulled was that to say he never existed. But I would slightly look at it differently. I would humbly say that the greatest trick that the devil ever pulled was that he is just a spirit and not a human being. Now bear with me on this one. Let me pose this question to you. Would you rather sit in the cemetery overnight? You got to spend the night there on your own. Or spend the night in a house with a murderer, a psychopathic murderer who's already murdered people and has no sense of remorse or right or wrong. I'll wait on that one. Now, the reason why I ask these questions is because I'm sure most of us would have rather been in that graveyard or in that haunted house. And why did I pose a question like that? Because throughout history, a spirit has never hung people from trees or put people in the gas chambers or molested little children. Now you may say, but yeah, it is a spirit in the person. But at the end of the day, it still needs a person. And so what we need to stop doing is looking at this thing like it's just this floating thing that just floats around. It still needs a human being. When you see what's going on in the world, and these so-called world leaders and these so-called rulers, silent rulers, these are human beings, man. When you look at atrocities and calamities like World War I and II and the transatlantic slave trade, or should I say the Black Holocaust, or there's so many examples of human evil that we need to get out of this mindset that it's a spirit, it's a human. Now, if we can program our mind or reprogram our mind to look at every act done of evil is a human, and then it will take the blinders off when we see where the world is going. We'll see the politicians and the world leaders for what they are. They're devils, basically. And we'll see all these people in the pharmaceutical industry hurting, maiming, killing children through these, I use a V word, right? And you know what I'm talking about there. As human beings that do this, not spirits. It'll be easier for us to remain focused on what we need to do. And understanding that every time we see one politician smiling and doing that fake wave, we're looking at a devil, and we need to be mindful of what we're looking at. Because if we keep having this idea, this notion that it's a spirit, then what are we saying? We're saying that, if we keep having this notion that it's an evil spirit within a person, then what we're saying that, well, it's not his fault or it's not her fault. But at the end of the day, we all have choices. And maybe some of us are stronger than others in our will, but we still have choices. And a point has to come where we hold human beings accountable for what they're doing, particularly for the future of our children. Everything that's ever been done to me And everything that's ever been done to you that caused pain, sufferation, was never done by a floating spirit that has no form, that you can't identify anyway, but was done by a human being. And even if you look at those horror movies, which I can't handle them, that I don't watch them, there's usually a human being involved in the killings. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a story where someone just kills by moving itself. Now, I'm not saying that things don't move. I know you've got the podcast movies and things like that, but let's look at horror movies for what they are. It's usually someone holding that dagger or someone holding that spade to knock you down and put you under the grave. It's a human being. And the more we can look at it like that, trust and believe, the more we're able to navigate around ourselves, our families, around what we need to do to avoid falling for the madness that the government, the silent rulers, the pharmaceutical companies, the health industry, the educational system, politics, the media, mainstream media, all these entities are trying to get us in a place where our life and our existence is a living hell. It's like we'll be taking the power back. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, man. But here's one question to leave you with. If the devil is a human being and only identifiable as a human being, shouldn't the same thing apply to God? Health and Wellness Dread, aka the Platinum Bearded Dread. Let me know your thoughts, your comments. I read everyone, I respond to everyone. And don't forget, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. We can do this again.